Welcome guys, and welcome back. Davis of Flash Trades here, back in Bangkok, Thailand, as you know, and getting through to my next few payouts here. So I wanted to break down my last week's trades, and mainly the one on Friday, which I have yet to post. All of my other trades, you can go back and see. I've documented all of them on this channel, but I pulled up my Lucid dashboard. These are the master accounts that I've been using for the Apex accounts that I've been getting payouts on. And you'll see that Friday, we did end up making 71.50 on this account, 335 last week, and then the other account I have made up the other few days of the week. So earlier in the week, I was just using a different master account with some other accounts. I'm splitting my risk. But today, we're specifically talking about the $70 and so cents, $71.50 that I made on Friday. So let's hop over to the chart, and I do want to do something a little bit more fun and more different today to explain how the trade was taken and what happened, because this has been the most drawdown I've experienced in as I've started back up trading this year. So let me show you what happened. So we hopped over to TradingView, and for this particular trade, I know you've seen a lot of me trading gold lately. It's been working out quite well. Today was actually a US30 trade going into London session. So instead of just showing you what happened, I thought it'd be fun to walk through how I started the day and go through the TradingView replay, so you can see exactly how the trade worked out, exactly where my drawdown happened, and kind of my thoughts as the trade was going. So firstly, let's figure out which direction US30 is going today. So we can see a pretty clear bullish structure on the daily. So that is pretty evident here. Let's go down to the 4-hour, and this is something I do every day to confirm my bias for the day. And when we're looking at the 4-hour, I mean, you see this dip, but the biggest things we're looking for is how is the underlying structure continuing. So we're seeing it's making higher highs and higher lows, which would indicate bullish structure. So we have that as well. And as we go to the 1-hour, the same exact story. And this is what we're doing. We're telling a story with these charts. So we see what's happening. There was a brief stint where, yes, we did go lower, but then it recovered and made a new high again. So now every time frame, from my perspective, is bullish. So given that, that is what we're looking for today. And the next thing that we look at is, do we have any clean range where we could see bulls playing out? Well, this immediate area looks a little bit choppy. We're seeing down, up. But as we look left, we're seeing a massive area where price could try to push through all this clean range. Clean range means it's not just, there's not multiple resistances it's hitting in this range. It just went straight down. So it could very easily go straight back up. It's not anything like this. It's just a straight line down. So that's what we were looking for. We saw that, and that's kind of where I was planning on taking a trade. So I was watching it from Bangkok. The 6 p.m. Asian Open is at 5 a.m. in Bangkok. So I think I woke up around like 5:30 or 6 a.m. my time, so like 7. So this is when you would see these candles here. Here's like 8 p.m. And let's just progress through and just see what I was looking at. Usually when I'm not in a trade, I'll just be looking at the 1-hour. But since we're on bar replay, I just want to get 30 minutes so you can just see how each candle is playing out. And essentially what we'd be looking for, as I was watching this play out, I'll put my order on so we can see what exactly we were thinking might happen. Because we also see that the 4-hour candle starts at 9 p.m. So it just started the new 4-hour. Okay, it went down for a bit there. Okay, I jumped too far forward, but I mean, we didn't really do anything in these candles because it's not showing us any indication that it's getting up to the area that we wanted to trade today. Again, this area, the immediate area, there is not enough range for us to even have a good RR. That's one of the biggest things for me when I'm looking at these trades. Like, okay, yeah, it could go up here, but is the RR worth me taking a trade where I might know the initial direction of the move? And that's, I think a lot of people don't understand that part, is that like, even if a trade could work out initially, your goal is to be in trades that have the best probability of giving you a decent return. Like, look at this area compared to this area. There's a lot of places where this could get held up. You're seeing here, you're seeing here. So if you enter here, it might get stopped. It might have to go back down before going back up. If we're entering in this range right here, I'm seeing a lot of possibility that we could continue to go further up from an entry down here. So that's kind of where we were putting our bet on today. So we're seeing basically right now, and this is another thing, this is why I use higher time frames, because I mean, what's it doing right here, guys? It's just playing around. There's nothing happening. It's going down, up, down, up. A lot of people love taking these trades where just because one candle is big, they want to get in and think that's going to be the big move. But I mean, yeah, sure you can. But when I take my setups, I've said this before, you can look at my previous videos, I'm taking B plus and above setups. So what makes something a B? If we're in a choppy range where nothing is happening, if we're in a range where there's not enough points for me to make a practical RR, if we're at an area where I can't determine a reasonable stop based on where the price is, this makes it a B, not a B plus, not an A minus, not an A, nothing that I would ever want to trade. So let's continue through. Right now we're at 1:30 a.m. so we're about to get into pre-London, which is I consider around like 2 a.m. pre-London. So here's pre-London 2 a.m. candle hits, and now I'm thinking, okay, it seems like we actually might start making the move higher going into a major session. Some of the major sessions, you know, London, NY are probably the biggest sessions that people trade. I prefer to actually make my trades an Asian session because you can get slower moves, but a lot of times you won't have any variance like news or, you know, big things that could happen that could change your probabilities. So now that I see this candle, it's pre-London. This is where, okay, I think it's time to firstly zoom out. So we see the 4 hour didn't make a bottom wick, but we're zooming out and seeing, okay, where can I have my stop loss? That's the first. We're not thinking about, we already know the range is there. So we already know this is what we want. Now we need to figure out, where is my risk going to be? Where is a valid stop loss to where I'm comfortable saying, if it passes this point, my trade idea was wrong. Some people are like, oh, 20-point stop, and not thinking, okay, so, okay, you just put a 20-point, let's just do that just for example. Okay, 20-point stop. So you're saying your stop is just in the middle of an active candle? Or, oh, let's, I do 40-point stops every time. Or let's say I do 35-point stops every time. So like, so you're not even taking into account where this candle started or finished. You're just going to put the stop based on not what the market is showing you, but what you want. It just, I don't think it works that way, but I know people still, you can still make money doing that. But in this case, I'm putting my stop below the most recent realistic structure that I see where it would have to break through for me to say, okay, my trade idea was invalid. It was not correct. So let's put our buy order on here. I usually try to do it based on the 1 hour or 30-minute when I'm doing these buy orders. So this is kind of what I would be looking for to take a trade here. We're seeing my stop placement is placed underneath the most recent lows, which so happens to be the 4-hour candle having to flip bearish, would be the only way my trade would be incorrect. And that's one of my favorite things to protect my position, is base my stop loss on where the 4-hour is showing it wants to go. So if this 4-hour decides to beeline all the way down, and it's possible because it didn't make that big of a bottom wick, but if this 4-hour beelines all the way down and completely flips, that's the only way my position would be incorrect. Now my entry, when I first place my initial entry, that's going to be my ideal point where I want the market to stop at for me to take an order. So I want this candle, the next candle, to basically be above this line and also above this previous 1 hour, which is technically a resistance on the 1 hour, but when it's this close to a 4-hour resistance, I don't plot both of them. It would just be a waste of, it would just clutter up the chart for no reason. So ideally, I want my next candle to just close above these to show me that, hey, the buyers like a newer high level to close at. So now we have everything plotted, 2 a.m. We're just sitting on our hands. We're not doing anything else because there's no order we're taking here. We're not taking an order as it breaks this resistance. With this particular strategy, we are waiting for a closure above this area, a 30-minute closure above this area that will indicate to us that, hey, I think this range might get filled. And I know it's Friday, so some might have a little bit less price action, but I was willing to take the risk just because of the clean range, honestly, and the 4-hour flipping being what I consider one of the best stop losses that I have in any of my trades. It's always just a very strong stop loss to where if it actually passes that, it will probably just straight dump. Like if it passes this type of stop loss, it means that you're wrong enough to where the market is probably going to completely reverse for the rest of the day. So let's move on. I think I'm rambling a little bit, so let's go forward. Okay, next candle. It looks like we do not get a closure above that area. So okay, all good. We can continue to look at the chart. So that is at 2:30. Next candle. Boom. We get our optimal closure. You'll notice it did close a little bit higher than what I had anticipated. So I did have to adjust my order a bit. So let's adjust this order. And now at this point, we're just waiting for the next candle to make a bottom wick and then flip to the upside. So the only thing, and I was going to show you guys where I think I could have done a little bit better with this trade. I do believe this was a pretty significant upside movement before entering. So we already moved 120 ticks, 120 points in the day, and that would mean that we probably should have anticipated some retracement. But I think just based on the closure I was getting in the clean range, I decided to upgrade this from a B. The B would have been because there's already been a solid amount of movement on a Friday, but I switch it to a B plus and a takeable trade just because this range just looked too juicy, guys. I'm gonna be honest. Like this, I've seen this too many times to not like the range that I was seeing on the left hand side there. So so let's see what happens the next 30-minute candle. And remember, we wait for the bottom wick to form with the candle, and then as it flips is when we enter. Either we'll have a limit order, or I think in this case I just entered with a market order with the risk parameters you see here. So let's fast forward. Ooh, So everything played out like I wanted it to. We got it moved down first. I don't know if we'll be able to see the... Yeah, so the first... Perfect. So yeah, the first 5 minutes of the 3:30 p.m. candle, it did move down, and then it decided to flip bullish. That's my favorite thing, when you get a few minutes of it going the opposite direction of where you want it to make the candle a healthy candle with the bottom wick, and then, you know, move upward. It did get a brief stint where it moved upward and into profit, and then and this is why I was saying, because it already had moved so much, it was necessary for it to pull back. So I didn't get scared. What do we do now? Now we're thinking, okay, so what do I need to do, or what gives me confidence that the trade will still go my direction? Well, firstly, we're going to be looking at the 4-hour resistance. So we're looking at the stuff, the pre-plotted lines that we already have. Like, is it going to sustain above that previous resistance? So this is now a support, because this candle closed above it. So this becomes a support because it should support the price since it was able to pass through and close above. And we see, even though the candle I entered on went bearish, we still get a closure above the 4-hour support, which tells me, okay, the buyers are still trying to keep this up the previous resistance. They're trying to keep this above this area. So then we just continue to fast forward. Let's see what happens to the next candle. Okay, so now we're seeing again the candle opens, and we'll go to the 15 just so you can see a little bit more of what happened here. But opens, huge spike up, we get into profit. We can check the RR. Only about 0.25 RR there, and then it goes once again back down. Am I getting scared here? No, it's still closing above the 4-hour support. We're still seeing, look at this, guys. This is a normal bullish structure, so I don't know why I would be scared here. Yes, I'm in drawdown, but this is how bullish structure form. Like, you don't just get one, like, so I mean, maybe sometimes with gold you can just get one candle that'll do your whole RR, but with the larger stops that I use for the US30, this is pretty much how the trades always go. Like, there's always going to be some fighting. Like, I never really get a candle where it's just like, oh okay, sure, let's get one massive candle and disregard any previous structure or anything that's happening, especially since it's not even NY session or anything. I mean, you get good movement in London, but especially on a Friday, I mean, this to me is still a pretty valid trade. So okay, we see that. Let's go to the next 30-minute candle. So this is how this 30 closed. Yes, it did retrace quite a bit, but still closed above that area. So let's see the next one. Ooh, okay, so we get the first closure below the 4-hour support that was created, and we also get our largest drawdown. So I think the drawdown, how much drawdown we get? Like 60 ticks of drawdown with 138 stop. So we got pretty far down there. I forget what the actual number amount was because I'm just mainly looking at the structure. I'm not really trying to look at the P&L as much. It's on the chart. It's not like I'm ignoring it, but we're looking at the structure. So this is where I'm like, oh, okay, well let's see how the 1 hour looks. The 1 hour, so like the previous 1 hour did close above. This one we're seeing close below, but it didn't completely dump. It was a pretty small body. So even though we did get a pretty big rejection from the top side, small body, and it seemed like it still wasn't trying to crash fully down. So I mean, at this point, I mean, what am I doing? I'm not closing, I'm not doing anything crazy. We're going to the next candle. We're going to see what happens. So right now it's 4:30 a.m. almost pre-New York. Pre-New York I would consider like 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m. around that time. So we still have a bit of time before that happens. But next candle. Oh, okay. So now the candle, the 5 a.m. candle decides to recover back above the 4-hour support. Okay, shoo. Okay, yeah, now we're happy again. We close above the 4-hour support. Again, not doing anything. I'm not thinking, oh, actually at one point I'm like, should I just break even this? But no, that's not what we do. And I've done this before. Like if after all of this happens and I break even, I'm saying now that it's validating my initial trade, I'm deciding to close. And I've done that before and it just never pays off. So I decided we're not going to go BE when it goes back and hits where I entered. We're staying in because now we're getting a structure that confirms to us that, hey, I think we're probably going to go further up here. So that 30-minute closes, we can check it on the 15 just so you can see how the structure happened here. So it basically made a healthy 15-minute candle and then just started pumping up. Another little retracement here, but main thing is it didn't break these previous lows. This one tried to, but okay, let's go to the next candle. I'm gonna try to speed this up because I feel like I'm talking a lot, guys. I don't know if you guys even want to hear this much about a trade breakdown, but I'm trying to show you exactly what I'm thinking when I'm in these trades, because I think a lot of people just think, oh, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down. But like if you actually break down what the candles are doing, where they're stopping, how big the bodies are, what the candles to the left look like compared to the candle that you're seeing, like a lot of this stuff just makes it a lot easier to sit in trades and not be like, oh, what's going to happen next, because you know what's going to happen next. I know that this is a healthy setup at this point, so let's see what happens next. Okay, so the next 30-minute candle, the 5:30 a.m. candle, is not able to break past the previous 30 minutes high. We get a bearish candle, but notice this, guys, we're still looking at where the 4-hour support is. We can zoom out as well. The 4-hour candle still has not flipped, and this is keep in mind, this is a new 4-hour candle. So this is the 4-hour candle where we have our stop. The new 4-hour candle is pretty far away from hitting our stop, so I'm not worried about that as much as excuse me. I'm not worried about that as much as, like, can we get this movement before we get into the times within the New York session where I don't like to be trading in. So at this point, it's more of a time thing than a, is this trade going to work out? Like, is this trade going to work out before 9:30 a.m. just dumps or does something crazy, or 8 a.m. dumps and does something crazy? So we continue. I mean, there's nothing else I can do. We see the 30-minute, it closed a weak bearish, but it did reject the low side. It looks like there's more wick on the lower side because the candle, let's see what happened. The candle went down initially, but then spiked back up because it wanted to go bullish again. And it even flipped before ending still bullish above the 4-hour support. So again, we're reading candles, guys. It's not just, oh, it's going up, it's going down. What's the candle telling you? Because this tells me a lot about what's going to happen to this trade. So we see that again. Let's go to the next 30-minute candle and see what it shows us. Okay, boom. We see a heavily bullish candle. Not even a bottom wick was created because only buyers stepped in for this 30-minute candle. This was one of the cleanest indicators that this was probably going to work out for me. So we see this candle at this point. We're really not looking into closing, but we do have to take note of the time of day. So 6 a.m. It's getting close to the point where I don't want to be in this trade. Like, the trade did not, you know, if it was, it should have made this move at like 4 or 5 a.m. That's when I would have preferred this to happen, this particular candle. And yeah, I'm just trying to tell you guys how once you start trading for a while, you know what happens at certain times. You know when moves need to happen for you to actually make the RR that you want. And this is actually now getting pretty late for me because I don't like trading at this point. Since I live in Thailand, it's easier to trade in Asia session and London session. And I could trade New York because it would only be like, the open would be 8 p.m. here. Like, it's not that difficult, or 8:30 p.m. But it just, New York is just too choppy for me. I don't enjoy the New York session, and I haven't. Even when I was in the US, I was trading Asian retracements for the last year and a half of my trading, just because it was a lot easier and more consistent. That's not to say I can't, but I mean, let's look at the next candle. So this is the 30-minute. I don't even think we need to, do we even need to see the 15? I mean, it clearly just went up the entire time. So the 15 went up the entire time for both 15-minute candles within the 30. We go to the next one. Okay, so we are starting. Did not have as big of a push for this one. Let's see what the 15s look like. And this is where I could have started to manage risk. This was my other mistake here. When this candle printed with no top wick, I've never had a case where this will happen and it won't just like dump a decent amount the next candle. So that's just what I've noted from, even though it was on the 15, I gave it less weight because it was a 15-minute candle instead of a 30-minute candle that wasn't giving me the top wick. But typically, and you even saw with the inverse of that, like when this bullish candle didn't have a bottom wick, the next one extremely bullish. Same with the next one, extremely bullish. But now, no top wick on this one, no top wick on the next candle. So this is where I should have managed my trade a little bit better. Once I had seen that, basically I believe on this one is when I should have determined I should have managed. But then we see, let's look at the next candle. Boom. Like I said, and you could say, oh, this is hindsight. You're just saying that because it went down. No, I'm saying it because this is how candles move, guys. Like, if you're getting a big push to the top side, and then you finally have a candle that doesn't even have a top wick and just starts dumping, this is where you need to start managing your trade, at least. And this is, I don't mean close it completely, because it can still retrace, but this candle right here is where I decided to take some of the trade off. So I took 5 positions off here. I had 7 contracts total, minis. So so we had 5 out of 7 contracts that we took off there. I think it was a little bit lower because it basically, like, I saw it pull back, it pulled down all the way, then it pulled back up. I'm like, all right, bro, this is about to hit my, I don't, at this point, because of the time, like it was getting to 7 a.m. pre-New York, I don't want to be in drawdown as it hits 8 a.m. because that's when the candles start getting wonky for no reason. Like, that's when there wasn't any news that day, but it just, when volume comes in, you don't know which direction the volume is going to send it. Especially with this setup I had, sometimes it's still advantageous to be in if I had a better position. Maybe if the trade was up here, I'd be fine sitting in through NY, but because it was so close to my stop, it just wasn't worth taking the risk here. So basically, at this point, it was just watching what the candles would do. And so we took that partial TP, and then we did set the stop loss. I based it on so like the break even stop, I was about 11 points in profit for the BE. So that was the remaining positions. The 2 out of 7 positions were BE, and I just put them above the was it the 30-minute levels here? Yeah, I basically just put it above like this stuff here, all these like wicks and everything. I had it like around that area for the stop loss. So that gave me a little bit of profit on the last 2. Yeah, pretty much exactly right there, like 11 points. And then from there, I was just watching the trade. I already took my profit. I already understood that I had the right idea, but I didn't have enough momentum to actually carry my trade to where I wanted to go before the time requirement that I had. And you don't have to have a time requirement for your trades, but when you're trading through multiple sessions, like this was basically put on in Asian session, carried through the entire London session, and then still in New York session, it wasn't where I wanted it to be. So I decided I'm closing partials. I'll still give it a chance to work out, and we'll watch the remaining portion just on the 15 because I think it's just gonna hit the BE pretty soon here. Yeah, then it just hits BE. So it hits BE, like I said, I didn't want to go back into drawdown before New York session, so it's 7:30 a.m. is when it hit my break even, which means within 30 minutes it's gonna be 8 a.m. Let's see what happens 8 a.m. Oh, we're still on the 15 minute. Whatever, we'll stay on the 15 minute. 8 a.m. hits. Oh, okay, 8 a.m. it does spike up. Does not hit a 1-to-1. Let's keep that in mind as well. So it doesn't hit my 1-to-1, which is fine. Yeah, sure, I could have kept it on and just gone back in the deep drawdown, but guess what, guys? This same candle, especially with the structure that I was making, could have easily gone the other way to my stop loss. So this is why I don't, like, why would I be into a trade where I don't know? Yes, I'll have the momentum. Yes, I'll have the volume, but having volume doesn't mean having good probability. So yes, I could have made more on the trade if I just sat in and let Jesus take the wheel. But let's continue through because I want to show you guys this. So let's continue through. So remember, it didn't hit my my full take profit, like the 1R. And remember, we're trying to make it go all the way up to here. So let's continue through. What the oh, it's because I was on the 15 when I showed the, so this is actually how the 8 a.m. ended. So it didn't even end as high as where you saw it. It went basically back to my BE again. So it ends back at the BE, 8 a.m. Okay, let's just keep going. We'll just watch a few more candles. Okay, look, it's going back up. Going back up. But guess what's about to happen, guys? It's about to be 9:30 a.m. I wonder if we can continue this move higher at 9:30 a.m. Looks pretty healthy now, right? 9:30 a.m. Volume will definitely come in. I wonder if this clear bullish structure will continue at 9:30 a.m. when massive volume comes in and massive indecisiveness always takes control. Well, almost always. I don't want to say always. Let's see what happens. Oh, this is why I don't trade New York, guys. So this, where was I out of my trade? We were out of the trade right here because these two volatile candles, we don't know what they'll do. So 9:30 a.m. hits, and this was my trade. I was already out. I don't stay in at these times because of that. I know some of you that are in the US or in places where the NY session is easier to trade may have to kind of trade, you know, in this session, and it's still possible to make money, but like I prefer to make money in easier ways because I'm in a location where it's easier to do so. So let's just see how it plays out. Okay, oh, now my stop basically almost gets hit. Might have gotten hit with slippage, who knows? Look how far down that went. Oh, okay, that one definitely would have hit my stop. Like what is this? And this was basically the trade for today. This is why I manage trades how I do, and I hope you guys learned a lot from this. I tried to really break it down to where you could see how these trades actually work out, how I'm thinking when I'm in the trades, and why I think it's been successful for me thus far in my trading career so far. So appreciate you watching. Go ahead and give a like, comment down below if you caught the same trade or if you appreciate the knowledge that was shared today. And that's gonna do it for me, guys, so take it easy.